What's up, guys? We're back out here again today working on Chris's CRX. In the last video we finished up his tie rods, his compensator arms, we did the fuel pump, just a handful of mods, same with the master cylinder and the booster. And we talked about him getting an innovative traction bar. So he decided to go with that new one that they recently released within, I don't know, maybe the past year or so, I can't remember exactly. And so we're going to compare it to the old traction bar. And if you watched in a video I did about 2 summers ago, I installed their old traction bar on my track car. It was my 1990 Civic DX back then. It's now been transplanted to my 1990 Civic Si. I'm going to use some of the old footage, that way I can see the weight. I believe this one was 22 pounds, and that's just the bar, and the OEM one was 21 pounds. So we're going to, once we get his bar off, we're going to go ahead and weigh it, and we're going to weigh it with the new one, and we're going to go ahead and get it installed today. Yeah, we'll do it right now. Let's just pull it over here. I'll set it down behind this one. Alright guys, there's a stock one. Easily removed. Took us about 15-16 minutes to get that one pulled. Since he has a single cam, still had the mount. All we did was just remove it from the transmission, and it just came down with it. We'll pull it off right now, and we'll pull off the radius rods so we can get an accurate weight of just the bar itself compared to the new bar. Okay, here we got the bar off. We use a little bit of cellophane, like packaging wrap, so we keep everything together as we weigh it on a scale. And same with the OEM one, we taped up the bars, the radius rods to the subframe, that way we can get an accurate weight count of everything on there. I'm going to include the clip from the older video, and in this video you'll see that when I weighed the bar, I was using a luggage scale. This one ended up being a pound lighter than the older innovative setup. So we're kind of curious to see what these two weigh. Before getting to the install of the cross member, we're going to weigh the old cross member with the radius rods, and then we're also going to weigh the new innovative. See if there's a huge difference, if any. So the OEM weighs about 20 pounds. First I'm going to weigh the bar alone, then the radius rods. The bar weighs about 11 pounds. And the radius rods with the mounting hardware weigh about 10 pounds. So you're actually adding about 1 pound over the stock cross member. Okay, so first we're going to start with the old one. Chris is going to get it laid up on the scale. This one weighs 19.8 pounds. It's completely off the ground. It's not touching. We checked already before we recorded this clip. Just wanted to make sure we could get both off the ground. So 19.8. Okay, now we're going to weigh the innovative bar. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, now we're going to weigh the innovative bar. Put the hardware on top just to constitute the full set of the weight. And this one exactly 18 pounds. Okay, so it's about 1.8 pounds lighter, 2 pounds, which is nice because the older one was actually heavier. So you are saving a little bit of weight, and it's probably just a little bit stronger than the original OEM crossmember. So we're going to go ahead and get it installed now, and we're going to just check clearances. I want to see how high it hangs, and hopefully there shouldn't be any issues at all. I'm pretty sure this one hangs maybe just as low as the original one that they made before this. And on my car with that original bar, I have a 1320 header and of course that B20 engine. And the bar sits higher than both of those. If anything's going to take any kind of hitting, it's going to be the oil pan and my header. And you can see there's actually a little bit of scratching on the header. And on my oil pan also, this is probably a little better look. You can see where it has scratched a little bit in comparison where the bar hasn't taken any damage at all. So good clearance compared to their innovative actual replacement cross member, which hangs really, really low. Okay, we got the bar on, and looks like there's a little bit of adjustment at the front of the heim joint, but we did most of it right here because this is a lot thicker and it actually goes really deep, so there's still a handful of threading left there. The only issue we're encountering now is it comes with supplied bolts which bolt the radius rod to the lower control arm, but now that they're a lot longer than the original ones, we can't get it in the first bolt underneath the axle. So we're going to remove the nut off the ball joint, and that way we can lift the knuckle and at the same time the axle will come with it so we can feed this one in. So a little bit more work getting that installed on just the reverse side. And when we first took them off, we actually removed the sway bar end links also. That made it easier to get to the OEM bolt when it was on the original bar. So we're going to get those swapped out really quickly. So we just dropped the ball joint, and since it has the spherical bushings, if you have urethane as well, the arm will just swing down. And we initially had disconnected the fork at the bottom of the shock. That way we had access to that rear bolt when we were removing the original radius rod. So this will give us a lot more room to just go ahead and tighten those up completely. And then once they're in, I was telling him after driving it once or twice, maybe just get down there and of course you can use a wrench, just check it, make sure they haven't loosened up a little bit. If the potential driving the first or second time may have loosened them slightly. Same with the fronts. The fronts have a nylock nut, which is nice, so those really won't come loose. But those, you never know. I would just definitely double check those after a couple drives. One thing that we really like about this bar compared to the old one is that the heim joint is now connected to this piece which slides into the bar. So what we're doing, we're just kind of adjusting the caster a little bit. We're just pulling a little bit of the slack away from the heim joint. That way when we take it over there and have him adjusted, he can set caster to where it needs to be. Whereas compared to the old arms, you had the locking nut, and once you did that, you just had to spin the whole joint itself. There wasn't any adjustability. So that means you had to remove the nut and bolt and sometimes even loosen it at the back so you can drop it from the bar itself. So it's a lot more difficult to adjust the old bar compared to the new bar. One feature I think is much nicer than the old bar. And another thing we didn't remove was the Oem Tow Hooks. We left them on so we could show that this bar fits with the Oem Tow Hooks if you wanted to leave them. We only left them on for video purpose. We'll just get in there and remove those now. But you can see that there's no issue fitting this bar, where the old bar does require the removal of the old factory tow hooks. And here's a final look from the engine bay. Really clean setup, doesn't stick out far at all, and that's similar to the old bar also. And here we got it all finished up, guys. Ground clearance on single cam. Now it's different with a single cam. Obviously it's not going to sit down as low, but it is almost even with the oil pan, and he has a DC header. I like how they have, for jacking the car up, they have a little bit of extra steel welded on, and it even has a little lift point. That's an added bonus. The other bar It always seems to bend a little bit when you put it on there. I don't think you're supposed to actually lift the car with the old bar on there from there, but it seems to work fine. I've done it multiple times. So there's the last look at it. We're headed over to the alignment shop now. He's going to get it all set up, his alignment specs. It's now ready for the first track event on March 30th. So we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.